Today I am going to teach you how to add posts. Posts are one of the page types that we put content into. In this site there are two types of posts. There are the posts that are inside of the store, which are the products. And you can see that this is a page, and within it are these products. They are posts. If you click on one of the products, this is the actual post. The other one is the blog, and in this case, this article, Hands-On with the Fuji X Pro 1, is a post. The post for the blog and the post for the store are the same thing. The only difference is the categories that we choose for the post, and I'm going to explain that in a little while. So first, let's go to New Post. Okay, now this is the post window. You get to it either the way that you saw me do it or through the Add New Post area over here. In order for these posts to show up in the blog page, it has to have a category. In this case, I've added a category called blog. And you can see here are the categories. Understand that there is another place in the site where we tell the site that the blog page gets the category blog. That's going to come at another time, but for now, all of your sites should have a blog page and its category should be blog. Okay, and you can see there's a place for the title, and we're going to do a blog post that's a follow-up to the one that's already on the site, something I wrote a while back. It's called A Little More with the Fuji X Pro 1. And your content goes in this area. The content is very much like a word processor. If you want to make it a little bigger, you see these little squiggles here. You can pull this down to make the window a little bigger so you have more room to write. At the top you have bold, italics, cross out, you have quotes, you have justification, and all of the kind of things that you would have in a regular word processor. There are a couple of other little items up here that we'll talk a little bit about later. Okay, so now let's add some text. I'm actually going to pull the text from somewhere else. You could easily write this in a word processor where you have spell check and then just cut and paste it into here. So you don't have to use this to actually write if you're more comfortable with another word processor. That's what I'm doing. This came from another. So let me just paste this in. And you can see that there's text. Okay, now my preference is to have my articles fully justified. So I'm going to highlight all of this, and then I'm going to click on the full justification. As you see, this window is actually wider than the window that has the actual blog in it. So don't think that where words wrap in here, they're going to be the same wrap on the site itself. So this is just an editor, but it may look different when it actually gets onto the site. If you wanted to see what it looked like, you hit preview, another window will open, and you can get a little idea of what it looks like. Okay, so it's just text here. It's a little bit boring. So let's go back and make some changes. Okay, first thing we want to do is add some images. I'm going to add a main image at the top. So what I want to do is give this a little bit of space so I can have a space, and then see this area where it says upload insert, add media, we're going to add media, which in this case is going to be a picture. I'm going to select the file. It uploads the photo. You don't really have to worry about the size, but I would try not to use images that are too big. They'll take a long time to upload. The important part here is to see what size you want to put it in. Sizes in the web are done in pixels, often denoted as px. The area that the blog is in on this site is about 600 pixels wide. So here I'm going to pick this image as a full-size image because it is already 595 pixels by 342 pixels high. What you do is insert that into the post, and there it is. A couple of more things about pictures. If we click on it, we see this area for editing an image. Now there are a few things you can do with the image once it's in. You can change the size. You can decide it's going to be center, or you can decide if it's going to be left or right, in which case the text will wrap. In this case, I've decided to use a very wide picture at the top, so I'm going to leave it at center so that there's no wrapping. And we can update that. We can see now we have this image and we have some more text as we go down. But I want to add a couple more pictures inside. And let's say I want to add an image right here. Okay, well I can add another image. I'm going to select the file. And again, this image is 364 pixels wide. But I think that's going to be a little big, so I'm going to choose medium. It'll be 300 pixels wide instead. And I want the text to wrap around on the left side, so this image will be on the right side. So if I put the image on the right side, the text will wrap around on the left side. And I insert that into the post, and you can see now that image is on the right side, and you can see how the text is wrapping around it. But you'll also notice that the text is a little bit tight. So what we want to do after is go in, go to the advanced settings, and just give it a little bit of space. There's vertical space and horizontal space. There's also a border, which is a black border, which I'm not going to use, but you could do that as well. And let's say we just want a little bit of space, 5 on the top and bottom, and 5 on the side. We hit update. And now you can see there's just a little bit more. And again, if we previewed it, you can go down and you can see that the picture has a little bit of space around it. Okay, so now I have it the way that I want it. Let's look at some of the other things on the page. This area over here is from a plugin, an extra little program called Zemanta that makes it a little bit easier to add links and text and pictures to your posts. But I'm going to do a whole lesson on that, so we're not going to talk about that right now. These in-text links are also with Zemanta, so don't worry, we'll do that later. This area of the custom fields panels, again, that's something that you really don't have to worry about. I've never used it. It's there for advanced users, but it's not really that necessary. Most of the controls that you need are here already. Again, the category is blog, so you want to click on that. And now the tags. So think of tags as indexes. So we want to add tags that are specific to this article. Now, I've put in tags for the entire site So more of the generic tags like photography or lenses or Canon, Nikon, those kind of things are already built into the site. I will have done that for you. So you don't need to worry about these generic tags. So maybe rangefinder, because that's the style of the camera. Manual focus, because that is one of the big things that happen with this particular camera. The last piece you have to know is the featured image. When you go to the blog, this image here is the featured image. If you don't put in a featured image, that area will be blank. So generally, I tend to use the same featured image as the first image that I use on the blog post. So we'll use the image that we used of Gavin. You hit set featured image, but now remember that this image is already there. So you can look in the media library that has all the images. We've already uploaded it, so it's here. Show it. And again, you see the same things you did before, but the size doesn't matter. The site will automatically size. So you just want to choose use as featured image, as opposed to insert into post, which is what we did before to actually put it inside of the post. Okay, and then you can just click outside and it'll disappear. So now we have a featured image, we have some tags, we have a category, we have the actual post and all of the pictures that we want, and we have a title, although these aren't capitalized, so let me do that. And now we could preview it or publish it. To actually put the post out there so it's actually out there for someone else to see is called publishing. So we're going to publish. And now we can take a look at the post by clicking here. And we can see that the post is in on the site now. And if you go to the actual blog page, you now see the other post on top